You know, some mysteries just really grab you and won't let go.
Yeah, totally.
That's what we're diving into today.
Okay.
The legend of the crystal skulls.
Oh, cool.
You sent over this YouTube documentary.
Right.
And let me tell you, it's a wild ride. We're talking ancient civilizations.
Okay.
Daring explorers.
Wow.
And these enigmatic skulls with these supposed supernatural powers.
It's incredible how those skulls, they tap into, like, our fascination with the unknown.
Yeah.
You know, before we get to the specifics of the documentary,
Yeah, okay.
I think it's important to remember that skulls themselves held a really deep meaning for ancient Mesoamerican cultures.
Right.
Especially the Aztecs and the Maya.
Uh-huh.
They weren't just symbols of death.
Right.
They represented life and rebirth and ancestral wisdom.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder these crystal skulls, kind of shrouded in mystery,
Totally.
captured people's imaginations, right?
Totally. And at the center of this whole mystery is Frederick Mitchell-Hedges,
Okay.
who is like a real-life adventurer.
Right.
Who like brings to mind like a certain like whip-wielding archaeologist.
Okay, I see.
Mitchell-Hedges claimed he found the most famous crystal skull, which was nicknamed the Skull of Doom, hidden deep within a Mayan pyramid.
Wow.
But get this.
Okay.
The story gets even more interesting.
How so?
Because that's where the intrigue really kicks in, right?
Yeah.
You see, Mitchell-Hedges was like known for his incredible tales of exploration.
Okay.
But his story about finding this Skull of Doom,
Yeah.
oddly missing from anything he wrote while he was alive.
Oh, wow.
So it only pops up after his death,
Wow.
told by his adopted daughter, Anna.
Oh, wow. That is interesting.
So I'm trying to imagine being Anna in that moment.
Yeah.
Like she's exploring this ancient Mayan city of Lubantun in Belize.
Right.
It's her 17th birthday in 1924.
Yeah.
And she spots something sparkling in the sunlight.
Okay.
She goes to check it out.
Yeah.
And stumbles upon this hidden chamber.
And not just any chamber, right? According to Anna,
Yeah.
this chamber, it was filled with snakes.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about facing your fears.
I know.
She bravely ventures into this creepy space and returns with the Skull of Doom.
Right.
It's a dramatic story, wouldn't you say?
Dramatic is an understatement. It's a story practically begging to be a movie.
Yeah.
But like any good mystery, there are skeptics.
Sure.
And one of the most prominent ones is Jane Walsh,
Okay.
who is a Smithsonian anthropologist who dedicated years to uncovering the truth about crystal skulls.
And Jane Walsh is where this deep dive really gets interesting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, while Anna's story is captivating,
Yeah.
there's no independent proof to back it up.
Oh.
You see, her tale only becomes public decades after the supposed discovery.
Wow.
Like long after anyone else who might have been there is gone.
So you're saying that the very foundation of the Skull of Doom legend might be shaky.
Yeah, exactly.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder why the story stuck for so long.
I know, right?
But how could anyone even know if the Skull of Doom was, like, the real deal?
Well, in the 1970s, scientists thought, why not ask Hewlett-Packard? Yeah. Remember, this is the 70s.
Right.
And crystal technology was booming.
Okay.
They wanted to use their expertise to unlock the secrets of this artifact.
That's some serious, like, scientific detective work.
I know, right?
So did they figure it out?
Well, they confirmed that the skull was indeed made of pure quartz crystal.
Okay.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
They couldn't find a single tool mark on it.
Wait.
Yeah.
No tool marks.
No scratches, no chisel marks, nothing to indicate how it was carved.
Okay, but why are tool marks so important? Like, what do they tell us about the skull's history that we couldn't tell otherwise?
Well, imagine trying to polish a diamond with sandpaper
Okay.
versus a high-tech polishing cloth.
Right.
Silicon carbide is like that high-tech cloth for crystal,
Okay.
leaving almost invisible marks.
Yep.
So if the skull was crafted using advanced techniques that were unknown at the time,
Okay.
those marks might be invisible to the technology they had in the 70s.
So the mystery deepened. Those
Yeah.
Hewlett-Packard tests were groundbreaking.
Yeah,
But they didn't give us all the answers.
right.
That's where Jane Walsh's detective work comes in.
Exactly.
Okay, so she took a closer look at other famous crystal skulls,
Okay.
like the ones in the British Museum
Uh-huh.
and the Musée du Quai Branly in Paris.
Right, right.
These skulls were originally thought to be Aztec.
Exactly. They played a big role in shaping, our early understanding of these artifacts.
Yeah.
The plot thickens even more with the introduction of Eugene Bobon,
Okay.
who was a 19th century French antiquities dealer.
Okay.
who was connected to both of these skulls.
Hold on, what did this Bobin character have to do with it?
Well, you see, Jane Walsh's investigations uncovered evidence that those skulls in London and Paris weren't ancient relics at all.
What?
Yeah, it seems they were skillfully crafted fakes.
Wow.
Likely made in Europe.
Okay.
And then circulated through Bobin's network.
Oh, so these prestigious museums were fooled.
It happens.
You gotta wonder how many other, like, quote-unquote ancient artifacts are actually, like, clever fakes. Like, how could they be so sure, though?
Well, remember those inclusions we talked about earlier?
Yes.
Those tiny impurities within the crystal?
Right.
They're like its unique fingerprint.
Right, those, like, geological clues.
Exactly. Analyzing them can pinpoint where the crystal was formed.
Okay.
And guess what? The analysis showed that the crystal used in the London and Paris skulls came from Madagascar and Brazil, regions known for their quartz deposits, not Mesoamerica.
So not only did they find those modern tool marks we talked about, but the crystal itself wasn't even from the right continent?
Exactly.
Case closed.
Basically.
But that makes me think about the Skull of Doom again.
Yep.
If the London and Paris skulls were fakes, what about the one that started it all?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Okay.
We see those early tests on the Skull of Doom couldn't definitively determine its age.
Right.
Remember.
Yeah.
But luckily, science had advanced.
Okay.
And there was a new chapter waiting to be written.
Okay, I'm all ears. What happened next?
Okay, so by the 2000s, electron microscopes were even more powerful, able to see microscopic details previously invisible. Bill Homann, who was Anna Mitchell-Hedges' longtime companion. And the skull's caretaker after she passed. Agreed to bring the Skull of Doom to the Smithsonian for analysis. Using this cutting-edge technology.
I bet the scientists were on the edge of their seats.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, what did those, like, high-tech microscopes reveal?
Well, they found undeniable evidence of modern tool marks on the Skull of Doom.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
The telltale signs pointed to rotary tools, which are used for carving and polishing. And those tools just didn't exist before the late 19th or early 20th century.
Wow.
This directly contradicted Anna's story about discovering it in an ancient Mayan temple.
Okay, so the science is pretty clear. But if the Skull of Doom isn't an ancient relic, why go through all the effort of creating this elaborate backstory?
That's the million-dollar question. Yeah, it's where the line between fact and fiction gets blurry. You see, some, like Bill Homann, believe that the Skull of Doom's craftsmanship is just too perfect.
Really?
Too advanced for tools from the early 20th century. They say it points to an even more technologically advanced origin.
So they're saying it's not a fake, it's just, like, too good to be true.
Yeah, something like that.
I kind of get that, to be honest. It's a good story, but where does that leave us? If the science is conclusive, why do you think people are still so captivated by these crystal skulls, even if they aren't what we thought they were? I mean, seriously, even though we know they're not ancient artifacts, there's still something so alluring about these crystal skulls. Why do you think that is?
Well, the story itself is definitely a big part of it, right? I mean, it's got adventure and mystery and intrigue. You know, like all the ingredients of a captivating tale. Plus, these skulls, they tap into our fascination with the unknown. Like ancient civilizations, the possibility of something beyond our current understanding. I mean, they represent a connection to a past we're still piecing together, you know?
Yeah, it's like we want to believe there's something more to the story. And let's be real. Pop culture hasn't done us any favors.
Not at all.
Indiana Jones, documentaries, books. Like, those crystal skulls are everywhere, blurring the lines between fact and fiction even more.
Totally. But, you know, even though they're not ancient relics, their story teaches us a lot about ourselves. Like our desire to believe. And our fascination with history and how easily a good story can capture our imaginations. Totally.
And it just reminds us that what we think we know about history can change. Especially when it comes to artifacts and their origins.
Absolutely. And it also highlights how important science is. And critical thinking, you know, and a good dose of skepticism are for separating fact from fiction, especially now when information spreads so fast. Speaking of those inclusions that pointed to Brazil and Madagascar. What's the story there? Like, why were they major exporters of the crystal used in these fake skulls?
Yeah, I was curious about that too. What made those places like such crystal hotspots?
Well, it's all about geology, right?
Okay.
Brazil and Madagascar have some of the world's largest deposits of high-quality quartz crystal.
Wow.
The kind that's known for its clarity, and they've been used for everything from jewelry and decorations to, more recently, electronics and technology.
So these regions were like crystal mines for centuries.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, the extraction and trade of these crystals have a long and complicated history.
Wow.
It's fascinating how something that seems as simple as a crystal skull can lead us down this rabbit hole of history, science, and the power of good story.
It really shows that truth can be stranger than fiction and just as captivating. Even though science has given us answers about where these crystal skulls came from, the fact that we're still so drawn to them says a lot about our fascination with mystery, the unknown, and the pull of ancient cultures.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not just about the skulls themselves. It's about what they represent. Our desire to connect with the past, to find meaning in the present, and to never stop questioning the world around us.
And on that note, that wraps up our deep dive into the fascinating and mysterious world of crystal skulls.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never stop seeking the truth behind the mysteries.